Hey associates, this video is just quickly going to go over APA and MLA citations. I'm not going to spend a ton of time because honestly, citations are really just one of those like plug and chug, attention to detail type of situation. If like on the cover letter and resume, you state that you're really detail oriented, checking your citations and making sure they are what they need to be can be a good sort of check, and even a concrete story you could add about, I really do have attention to detail because in the summer class I had to write a paper and I triple checked that all my citations were correct, even though it was really tedious. So that's kind of that. Basically, here's a general formula. All you need to do is do it. Keep in mind that there are a few other styles out there that may be specific to your industry. So make sure that you are following those formats so that way you get used to it. And basically the reason why there's citation formats, well, it's irritating, of course, that there's so many different styles. If it's specific to your industry, then people reading, right, your work in that paper will know where to look in your citation list to find the journal name, right? It's always in the same place because you're following the format. They'll always know, what this number means because that is the place where we put the issue number in this style. They'll always know, who the author is because that's where you always put it. So that's why it's important to keep the citation formats consistent and do it correctly so that way your audience, when they're looking for that information in your citation list, know where to look and aren't surprised. So with APA, that's definitely what we use here in the journalism department. It's the American Psychological Association format. But basically, whenever you need to cite something in text, you do the author's last name and then the year. So APA likes to have last name and the year, and we'll see how that differs from MLA, which is Modern Language Association. If it's a direct quote, then you cite the name, year, and the page, right? And so if you have a direct quote, it's just important to put that page number in there so that way your audience can find, the source you got to and then like go actually to that page and make sure that this is really a correct quote. And then the year always goes after name. In APA, we put the initial, so it would be Blackburn H, the year, the title of the article, the publication, so that journal, newspaper, magazine, book, whatever the publication is, copyright info. And so for a book, that's going to be who the publishers were. For a journal, the copyright info is going to be like the issue number and the volume, which I'll show you in the examples, and then pages. Right. For MLA, similar, we cite the author's last name, but MLA always uses the page number or paragraph or location where that paraphrasing came from. The page number, MLA is just really big into page numbers, and so you don't have to include the year for the in-text, unlike APA. And then for the reference list, you can see like the same elements are here, but everything's moved around. And so that's why you need to know like what your industry tends to go with and then use that, because otherwise it's going to be like really frustrating for somebody who, is expecting to see the year here because there you said APA, but then they don't see it. So basically MLA, full name, title of the article, quotations, publication title, copyright info, year goes at the end, right? Always at the end, and then the pages. So here's like a real life example. This is a book. So we have, right, the name, initials, year. Now there is no title of the article because it's a book. So we can jump straight to that publication, right? It's a book, it was published, publication information. Same, right? But then we have the year here at the end. Year, right? Name, this is the journal title, and here's the publication information. So for the journal, then we know Cinema Journal, it's volume 51, issue 4, right? And then the pages to find it in. And then, same, 51 for year at the end. So basically, you just have to, plug and chug, connect the dots. So then when it comes to using citations in the text, this is an example. This was an opening paragraph of a short essay that I wrote in a class about the grapes of wrath and how it was censored heavily from the book to the film because of a lot of stuff going on with the Motion Picture Association. So when it comes to integrating sources into your work and kind of setting up that literature review, I'm using APA style, right? And it's APA because I have like all the years here also. You want to kind of think about how you can use the different sources to like tie spheres together, right? So if this is my topic sentence for the paragraph, perceived responsibility, monitor and maintain the quality of entertainment. It begins decades before the Grapes of Wrath came into existence, right? So then all of this information is going to expand and sort of speak to, how this perceived responsibility of higher institutions to monitor like came into be. So I'm talking about, okay, well, there's this media effects theories about elite educated members, source for that. Okay, here's a motion picture producer, so that's another institution about quality, 1915, as well before Grapes of Wrath in the 30s, and another, citation there, and then finally how the Production Code Administration came to be, another source. So in one paragraph, right, I have 3 different sources kind of speaking to the topic to help me understand the big picture, and that's really what we mean when we say, doing a literature review, right? So you can see I'm not just summarizing everything that I found in this Barron and Davis piece. I'm not just summarizing all the research Doherty did. Instead, I'm taking the big picture elements that they found in their research and seeing how it connects to other researchers on that topic in the field. And then lastly, this is my purpose statement for the review. In the essay that I wrote, so right, is this literature review will explain how the direct effect paradigm of mass media coupled with political fear socialism led to various forms of censorship in the 30s, and then the big picture, right, to understand why Steinbeck's novel would be censored and adapted in a film. So I'm connecting through my paper, right, that context, the stair step I'm going through, direct effects paradigm of media. I'm going to look at forms of censorship, and I'm going to look at cultural norms to ultimately understand my goal, my big purpose, why Steinbeck's novel would be censored and adapted when turned into a film. Make sense? Citations, basically you just gotta follow the steps and then make sure that you're layering in your sources within the work to paint like a bigger picture and not just summarizing each individual source.